I'm now going to introduce you to an amazing parent. Um, she is how she does everything. I don't know, her strength and her courage and just her determination is amazing. And so I'm going to hand you over to the lovely Talia.
Thank you, Tammy. So when we were talking about poverty, I was thinking about the experience of poverty because I think that's maybe where I can contribute in some way. And I was thinking about the experience of poverty. What does that mean? Because I don't often feel like I'm poor. I think it's the sense of stigma and shame because people on low incomes are often humiliated and shamed. We're shamed in the media, shamed to not feel a part of society. We're seen as irresponsible and dependent. And it's this toxic and shaming narrative that's reinforced by public policy supposedly designed to help people living on low incomes. If we want to tackle poverty and change the policies that create it, we need to change the narrative around poverty. In many places, we have these conversations about supporting people in poverty, and that stigma and shame is omnipresent. Looking at a dignity and food poverty workshop that I attended, it was said frequently, but if we give people money, they'll spend it on alcohol and tattoos. That is so incredibly stigmatizing to be judged like you must have poor choices. You're not capable of making good decisions because you have little money. The problem with poverty is so much less about the poverty and more about how you're treated and how you're made to feel. I can cope with being hungry. I can cope with being cold, but I struggle with feeling worthless and being treated like dirt. The expectations that others have cripple our happiness. My daughter said to me the other day, when I was little, I thought we were rich. And I asked her why, and she said, well, because we were always happy. She didn't notice we were missing anything until someone else pointed it out. And I can honestly relate to this. I don't feel disadvantaged until I see my life through someone else's eyes. I have a lovely little home. It is a very little home, but we're a happy home. And it's only when I have to admit to somebody that actually my 7 daughters share a bedroom that I get uncomfortable. Not because they're uncomfortable, they're happy. They love to share their room. They honestly do. But it's other people's perceptions that that's unacceptable. That's not good enough. It makes me feel that this is my failing, my substandard attempt at life because I don't live the normal. And that's really frustrating. It's depressing, and it feels like the deck is stacked against us from day one. Stigma and shame from poverty saturates your day-to-day life to the extent that it destroys your mental health and it drives people to give up what they want most in the world. One mom that I support as a parent advocate has worked for almost a decade to overcome massive challenges in her life, and she's now ready to apply for the for her children to come home. But with a rising cost of living, she's asked me and the social worker not to apply for a discharge of the care order because she doesn't believe she can give her children the financial advantages that they enjoy in foster care. She's scared she can't give them the holiday every year, that she can't give them a fridge full of food, that she can't afford all of the, school meals and all the things that they get for free in foster care, which they won't get when they come home because she's on a low income, just enough to not get any help. I sat in a conference the other day listening to a policymaker say how no child just deserves to grow up in poverty. And I can't understand why at the age of 16 or 18 or 21 or whatever the cutoff is that we stop caring, that you suddenly stop being an equal and start being disposable. Anyway, I've ranted long enough, but I will just say that nothing will change until we lift the stigma and shame of poverty. Thank you, Tammy.